Hey everybody, this is Thunder. Pride goeth before a fall. Pride goeth before a fall. What kind of what kind of pride are we talking about here? Uh, I think that's a quote from the Bible, but it's an accurate one. Um, there's a lot of things in there that do have meaning that I look at as a metaphor or as literally, as I do all religious books, spiritual tradition. And I'm finding that there's two kinds of pride. There's the kind of pride where you take pride in something you build, or say you're a craftsman and you do cabinet work, or you're a carpenter, or you're an electrician, or you're into electronics and you build radios. You take pride in doing it correctly and cleanly, okay? And you take pride in that. You take pride, that kind of pride, the point I'm trying to make, is a good pride, okay? But we're seeing a lot of another kind of pride that I really don't like, and is self-centered, okay, and disregards anything that anybody else does, or doesn't really give a shit about other people or the planet. That's a different kind of pride. Like, I'm proud to be an American. The false pride, the ego-centered pride, okay, is what I'm talking about here. And isn't that what we see everywhere in all kinds of factions and the government and everything? It's a false pride. It's like, I'm proud to be, an American because our country's so good and it's so strong and it's militarily strong and we do this and we do that. And ask the Native Americans what they think of that. Ask any Native American what they think of that kind of pride. Pride to the exception of Mother Earth, okay? Pride to so much pride that they disregard anything that they do to their fellow beings and creatures and animals and anything else on the planet and the planet itself. Isn't that what we see today? Is this false pride of, look at me, look at who I am, look at what we can do, look at what we've accomplished. Look at self-centered, egotistical pride. Okay, I guess that's what they call it. And you see this everywhere. Now I'm going to broach a subject that I'll probably get a lot of cards and letters for. Tough shit, I don't care. Now, how you judge or how you figure out whether you have respect for anyone is based upon the mark they leave. And whether that mark is in a community or whether it's on Mother Earth. First of all, Mother Earth takes precedence over everything, should be respected. As a Native American, you're taught respect for Mother Earth, Maka. And you don't go throwing trash everywhere and you pick up after yourself. Now, recently here in San Diego, we had, and I guess they have these things everywhere in every city, we had a gay pride, celebration, and it happens every year, and it happens near the park and in this area called Hillcrest. And as I was going to the market today, the weekend after this festival, as I was going through the park, which is kind of basically where it was centered, I saw objects that you wouldn't believe. I saw trash strewn about everywhere, scattered everywhere. Trash, objects, sexual toys, sexual apparatus, prophylactics, just disgusting, okay? And blankets underneath trees, and, you know, guess some people like to do it in nature, which isn't bad, but here's my point, okay? As I was going through the park and through this area, it was just squalid, a squalid mess, okay? And I thought to myself, how can they call this gay pride and leave leave such a freaking mess all over the place? Let's hope no kids go into the park. Now, I don't have any problem really with what people do, their sexual preference. Whatever they want to do is their business in the privacy of their own homes or whatever. I personally don't see a need to flaunt things, okay? If anything should be flaunted, I think it should be, I think the Native Americans might have a good case for trying to, you know, enhance their pride or their self-respect, seeing as they've been beat down. Now, again, I'm not against any of these movements or whatever. And you have all kinds of movements. You have the rainbow children and the old hippies and the you know, you have a lot of people that migrate around and follow concerts. And there was the Grateful Dead thing and whatever, you know. But what kind of a mark do you leave? Okay, and I'm not singling anybody out here. I just happened to go to the park today, and this just thoroughly disgusted me. Okay, people, you need to clean up after yourselves. I don't give a freaking I don't give a freak who you are or what you do. You need to have respect for Mother Earth and not scatter shit all over, leaving a disgusting trash pile, refuse pile, which represents your consciousness, okay? And again, a lot of people do this, whether they're the old hippie movement or the rainbow movement or they want to be respected, yet they don't have enough self-respect or enough dignity to leave a place clean. Now, I remember one time I was on a cleanup crew for a stadium. Okay? Let's take this as a little metaphor, a little story, okay? To fit into this subject that I'm talking about. I was on a cleanup crew for a stadium, and usually when you go in on a cleanup crew for a stadium, you have this push broom or whatever, and after the event, you get piles and piles of trash and cups and gum, and oh my God, you get everything known to mankind. By the time you get done cleaning that place out, you got dump trucks loads of stuff. Okay. Now, one time there was this religious organization, and I won't mention their name because I don't think it's even relevant, okay? And they rented the stadium for a get-together, a gathering, a convention, whatever. And I heard that they took pride in being clean, okay? And I said, sure, right, whatever, you know. Went in there following the weekend of that convention with my broom and my whatever. And there wasn't a piece of trash anywhere. There wasn't a speck. There wasn't anything that you could identify with there being any people there whatsoever. In fact, it was cleaner when they left than it was when before, okay? It was cleaner when they left than it was before they got there. And I just scratched my head and went, well, this is one group of people I can honestly say I respect. I don't have to respect them for what they believe or what their dogma for their religion was. I don't have to respect them for that. I don't have to buy into whatever they were teaching, but I'll tell you one thing: when a person leaves a mark like that, that shows a little bit of true self-respect, self-worth, and respect for your fellow man. Okay, now that's just a little story that you can consider when you look at. That's a microcosm of what we see, of what we should see in the macrocosm today. It's how the earth should be. It's how anybody that says they have pride in themselves should be. It applies to everybody straight down the road here. And if people in San Diego are seeing this, I hope they do, because when situations go on like this in this town, you don't have any respect for the town if you leave a trash heap and a dung pile of all kinds of devices or whatever. That should be a private thing and not a public thing. That's all I got to say about that. Now, let's get back to America as a whole. Isn't this what we see? Isn't this what we see everywhere? I mean, I don't care if it's a football game and a certain team, the Raiders or the Chargers or the Rams or whatever, and all these people go and gather. And they leave the place and they throw their popcorn and their trash and they throw it everywhere and just have total disregard for anybody else or the place that they were meeting at. Or what about the people of the government that leave their trash and their scum everywhere after they drill holes in Mother Earth and after they pollute the skies? It's just typical that this whole thing would be being spread around. It's a sign of total lack of reverence, total lack of respect, and it's getting old. To me, it's getting real old that people can't even pick up after themselves. As a kid, I was taught pick up after yourself. And I'm very self-conscious about that. I try to keep things clean. I try to keep my room clean, wherever I'm at clean, make my bed, pick up after myself, don't leave dirty dishes in the sink, keep things neat and orderly. And that's a sign of you respecting yourself, okay, and others too. So if you weren't taught that as a kid to clean up after yourself, and you're just wild and disrespectful, I got a problem with you. I got a real problem with you. And so I just thought I would make this video because that incident, sometimes I make a video off of incidents that happened to me, and it just happened to be that I went through the park and saw that, and I thought about, well, this is just blatant disrespect and disregard for Mother Earth and kids and anybody that could go to that park. And then I started thinking about the whole thing of pride, and I thought, well, this is just a reflection of our society as a whole. This is what we teach, this is what we, let's put it this way. This is what we tolerate. Okay. This is what we tolerate in the name of being politically correct. Okay. Being politically correct. We don't want to question, anything about any group for fear that we'll be labeled as either racist or prejudiced. And I'm not, okay? I judge people by their actions. I don't care who they are, what they do, where they fly, where they don't fly. It doesn't make a difference to me, that stuff. You have to judge people by their actions that they exhibit, if you're going to judge them at all. And I try not to judge people or condemn people, but on the other hand, you definitely look at signs and marks of what's around you. You would do that in any situation, if you were moving to a new neighborhood, wouldn't you check out that neighborhood to see if there was trash and refuse laying all over the place, or if the people in that neighborhood had a respect and a dignity about their neighborhood and where they lived? If you were flying on an airliner and you went to go to the airport and you took a look at their plane and it was all dirty and trashy and the captain had his shirt tail out, would you get on that airplane? No, not me. I wouldn't. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. People ask to be respected and not judged and that kind of thing. Well, what do you do to earn that respect? What do you do to earn that respect? And do you flaunt things just for the purpose of flaunting and throwing it in people's faces? That's a sense of false pride, whether it's on a government level or any level. So I guess I'll leave it there today. I just had to get this off my chest because I didn't feel right about it, and I figured, it's certainly a sign of our times and our society when there's a lack of pride, real pride in what we do, what we leave, how, the mark we leave, and what we project. Before we get any respect, we have to earn it, okay? We have to earn respect for what we do, and I don't see a lot of that around in any area of our life right now. In the media, in the government, on all these groups and all these people that say that they want respect, okay, and then they have a big festival of pride, and all of that respect gets washed down the drain, no pun intended. That's the way I see that whole thing, okay? And I just wanted to say that, and I'll leave it there today. This is Thunder, offering thoughts for consideration again. Over and out.